It is the Recurve men's individual final. Let's go down to the field of play to meet the contenders.
On target number 1, representing France, Jean-Charles Valladont. On target number 2, representing Republic of Moldova, Dan Olaru. And the live judge for this match is Clement Cesar.
So Jean-Charles Valladont, or JC as he's known, 34 years old. Frenchman taking on the 26-year-old Moldovan Dan Olaru. I'm not sure I can really call this one. There was lots of long holds from Valladont in his semi-final. Olaru shot pretty well, but showed a few signs.
Yeah, I'm just thinking with Olaru's pace and Valladont's struggle with the clock, might that become an issue for Valladont, or is he okay with shooting his arrows in the last couple of seconds? Or is he going to speed up his shot for this last match?
We're about to find out. Recurve men's gold medal match starts with Jean-Charles Valladont.
9.
Both of their semi-final matches were pretty high level. I'd say the second half of Olaru's semi-final was a really high level. He shot like a 9.7 average on those last 3 ends. So if he can continue that into this gold medal match, he has a really good chance to upset JC Valladont, who's had a great pre-season so far. Really good group though, all on the right, but if he can adjust his sight and keep shooting those groups, then that will probably get him back into the match.
What a start from Dan Olaru. A perfect 30. And to me, the untrained eye, they look like some pretty decent shots.
Yeah, they are, and you can see the amount of movement is really key for Dan Olaru. If he has a lot of movement in his shot, typically there is something up. He looks really solid now, and I think he's feeling comfortable on the stage. You can see he has a little bit of stress, a little nervousness, but nothing too crazy. And I think, like I said before, I think he's acknowledging it. I think he's like, okay, I'm stressed or I have some nerves, but that's okay, because that's normal for being on the finals venue, and he's dealing with it in the proper manner. So yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. He shoots a 30 to start off this match.
Yeah, very solid start from him. So it will be JC Valladont, France, to shoot first in the second set.
These two archers have met before at the European Championships in Legnica in 2018. That was the semi-finals, and Dan Olaru won that one to go on to the gold medal match to eventually lose to Steve Weiler, my countryman. But he is very good at shooting finals matches, typically when it matters most. So if I recall correctly, he had to go into the Olympic qualifiers twice for both London and Tokyo, and got silver for the one in Tokyo and bronze in the one in Amsterdam to go to London, which I think at that time he was 15 years old when he got the Olympic quota. So,
wow.
So he might not have the same resume as JC, but he's been around and he knows how to shoot an arrow.
15 years old, I mean, it's incredible to be competing at that level that young. And we've seen JC for many years. doesn't seem to know how to retire, doesn't want to retire, clearly, and he's fought his way right back into this.
Yeah, so in the interviews that World Archery did, he was talking about his new philosophy about archery and how he is trying to just have fun with sport rather than be too serious with himself. And I think having fun is a really good basis for high scores as well.
On top of that, I'd miss the hat if he decided to hang it up.
I'm sure he has a spare one that he can share with you.
Hey, listen, if JC wants to send me his hat, I'd be delighted to wear it. All square in this Recurve men's gold medal match. Valladont from France levelling things up at 2 apiece against Olaru from Moldova. So we reset and we start the third. Here we go.
I mean, it's slow, but it's also smooth. He doesn't. There's no like twitchy movements or. It doesn't make me nervous looking at his shot, whereas some other shots that take a bit longer, if you see them trembling or if you see some weird movement. But here he's just standing, waiting for the clicker to go and then shooting his shot. So there's a bit of a nuanced difference there.
Complete contrast on the other side of the shooting line. It's up, draw, release from Olaru.
Arguably, the thing that Dan Olaru is doing is easier from a mental standpoint, because you're not giving yourself the time to go into that story thinking of what if I don't shoot a good shot, or what if I miss this arrow completely, or you don't get the chance, you don't get the time to have those thoughts. You just pull back and shoot it. I think it's easier in that regard.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
On the other hand, it's not as easy to shoot that quick because you need to give yourself the time to settle and aim as well. And not everybody is as quick with that as Dan is.
Yeah, it's very, very fast, isn't it? He gets up, sets himself when at full draw during the draw, and then the arrow just flies. But it's worked for him in the third set, taking 29 points there to 27 from Valladont, and that puts him back in the lead. You say this long draw, long process from Valladont doesn't make you nervous, but when I'm hearing 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 counted down in French, I start to get nervous.
It's a good fact to know about you, but yeah, I don't know. He seems like he is in control and he knows how to fix it.
Yeah, and when you were talking about that draw, I was just looking, if you're trying to look for what Chef's talking about at home, actually look at the front arm, the leading arm from Valladont. Even though it's slow, it's pushing all the way through to the release.
Yeah, it's a very good description of what's happening, I think. And what I suspect is that he's been in this situation before where he has to shoot an arrow in a small amount of time. And he knows how to shoot an arrow in suboptimal conditions. So he'll probably have a couple tricks up his sleeve whenever he needs to.
He's drilling these into the middle of the target now. We could have another 5-setter on our hands here. Olaru has something to say about that. Of course, if he wins this set outright, he will take gold for the very first time at a Hyundai Archery World Cup stage.
Very close. A bit disappointed that that wasn't a 10. I think he hoped for that to be a 10 when he released it. And a very important 10 there from Dan Olaru, who is again averaging about a 9.7 average. So They're very impressive. That's a 29 average score per set for you.
Yeah, if he carries on shooting at this level, he's kind of done this one earlier on in the match, hasn't he? Even though Valladont's coming into form, he's perhaps done it too late.
Yeah, you can just see it in the dividing of the sets, sort of. It was first Dan, and then it was JC, then it was Dan again, and now it was JC's turn. He only managed to tie it, so now they have a 2-point difference between them, and Dan only has to match the score of JC to win the World Cup stage in Antalya in 2023. So a lot at stake here.
So JC Valladont target 1. He's trying to repeat the feat that saw him take gold here in Antalya back in 2017, trailing by 5 set points to 3. He's going to shoot first.
Yeah, that was a really, really good shot by him. Typically he'll steer the arrow a little bit when he needs to, but this one, I think his sight was just like bang on in the middle, and he knew that that was going to go in. So I don't want to jinx it, which is always famous last words, but JC was in a similar situation in the previous round where he could shoot a 10 to get the set.
He needs a 9 here. Oh, you have jinxed it. A 28 is a gettable score for Dan Olaru, who only needs to level up. He needs a 10 for that, and he's got to reset again. Oh, deep
it was
breath.
later into the time. Oh, he gets it.
Oh, gets the 10 he needs for the win, even after a reset. And look how happy his coach is. I don't think his coach thought he was going to recover from that reset. What a thrilling way to do it, adding a little extra tension there at the end. It was there for JC Valladont, but puts it into the 8 when a 9 would be enough to force a shoot off. And then when Dan Olaru saw the opportunity, I think he had a moment. Should we call it a moment, Chef?
Yeah, for sure, yeah. It's not the first time this happens, but it's the first time it happens in the gold medal match for him, I think, at the World Cup, because he's never been in one.
Well, there we go. Confirmation that Dan Olaru from Moldova has taken his first ever Hyundai Archery World Cup stage win as an individual.